Team 7 has always been iconic. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, all under the guidance of Kakashi Hatake, the jonin of their team. The bonds between the members of Team 7 were instrumental and were what drove the series forward and really gave it a lot of heart and plot. But the reason why Team 7 ended up with the members it had was not random. The truth is, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura were made for each other. The way that they determine who is going to be on a team is purely by skills and abilities. Sasuke was a prodigy and Naruto was a dope. Sakura might not have been strong, but she was smart. You had the strong, the smart, and the heart. The team was squared by this. With what Naruto could provide, as well as what Sasuke and Sakura could, they could easily cover each other's weaknesses with their own strengths. This is partially why the team worked so well. It could have also been fate, and even a bit of their own selves that connected them so well. Whatever it was, Team 7 had a unique formula that few others could replicate. I mean, the flat-out obsession with bringing Sasuke back to the village, and then the ability to make good on that promise against all odds should be enough to tell us how great this setup was. So in proper Amagi-Style What-if fashion, we will rip this apart and see what happens. Welcome to the Amagi. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. The Amagi's reach stretches beyond just this channel, so if you're a fan of us, please consider subscribing to our other channels and following us on all of our social media. Help us reach our goal of passing 100,000 followers on all of our accounts by the end of the year. Before we start, I would like to explain how this is going to work. Team Kakashi and Team Guy will switch places, in some cases within the story, to give us a chance to see what they would do if they were a part of these missions. That being said, Naruto and our boy Rock Lee will also switch places, so the teams are as follows. Naruto, Neji, and Tenten led by Might Guy, and then we have Rock Lee, Sasuke, and Sakura led by Kakashi. Now that we're ready, we can begin the story. We start off as shinobi teams are announced. Sakura is hoping to be on the same team as Sasuke, and Naruto is hoping to be on the same team as Sakura. Well, fate doesn't always work out the way you'd like it. Naruto is placed on Team Guy to balance out due to his own low aptitude. And Rock Lee is placed on Team Kakashi with Sakura and Sasuke due to his inability to use ninjutsu. You know, there's a subtle tragedy here in separating Rock Lee from Might Guy. Lee will likely still become a fantastic taijutsu main, but nowhere near what he would be under Might Guy. Honestly, this is similar to another what if we made a while ago about Rock Lee being the main character. This is sort of like that, however, instead we're going to use Naruto instead of Lee. Naruto is a little upset that he's stuck on Team Guy, especially when he sees how quirky Guy is, but nonetheless he persists. Guy takes them aside and he says that he's willing to be their jonin, but only if they can display a desire to succeed no matter what. Naruto shouldn't have an issue with this though, since he is adamant on becoming Hokage, even if the other villagers don't like him. He'll become the Hokage, so they have to acknowledge him. This would impress Guy enough to let him be on the team. And from that point on, they begin training. Under Guy's leadership though, Naruto discovers that this isn't going to be easy. Guy pushes his team to go beyond their natural limits far more than Kakashi does. The concept of going beyond one's limits is deeply personal to Guy and is the entire meaning of his 8 inner gates, pushing oneself beyond their natural limits. Naruto would certainly find himself growing stronger faster, but not to his own enjoyment. He's being pushed hard, and while Naruto is no stranger to hard work, pushing beyond your limits every single day is demanding. This, all alongside their low-ranking missions. When they're not eating, sleeping, or on one of these missions, they're training. That's why as soon as they get a shot to take a mission in the Land of Waves, Naruto becomes ecstatic. On their way to the Land of Waves with Tazuna, Naruto contemplates his team. Guy-sensei is a cruel slave driver of a mentor. He's constantly pushing them up and beyond, but Naruto can't deny the results. He has grown far stronger physically than the time he was at the academy. Neji Hyuga of the side branch of the Hyuga is a stuck-up stick in the mud, not too dissimilar from Sasuke, but with less darkness about him. At least Neji isn't always contemplating murder or making it the center of his future goals. As for Tenten, well, Naruto finds her cute. Not Sakura levels of cute, but he does find her cute. And her personality is a bit more agreeable. She can be a hothead too, but she smiles a bit more and doesn't obsess over anyone and doesn't look down on Naruto, making her a good teammate. He would prefer Sakura over her for obvious reasons, but as far as he's concerned, Tenten will make a better ninja and comrade. While he's thinking about these things, the demon brothers come out of hiding to attack. Naruto panics and falls flat on his rear in fear. However, Neji, having sensed them with his Byakugan, steps in and strikes out their Tenketsu with his gentle fist technique. This incapacitates them, and after which Neji scolds Naruto and tells him to get it together. Guy would comfort Naruto and tell him that he's just human. They would continue on their mission after discussing whether or not they should go back. After all, hired shinobi assassins, as well as Tazuna asking for assistance under false pretenses, makes this mission higher in rank, and is naturally above the level Genin are allowed to take. However, Guy would continue on, believing in his team and further testing their resolve to accomplish their goals by any means. However, they are stopped by Zabuza. Naruto does not freeze this time. He manages to stand alongside Neji and Tenten, both of whom aid Guy-sensei in his battle against Zabuza. Tenten has her scrolls that summon weaponry, Naruto is stronger physically than his main timeline counterpart, and Neji doesn't lack anything that Sasuke during this time would have. While Might Guy may lack the Sharingan, he does possess the 8 inner gates, and decides that now would be a good time to open them. They manage to defeat Zabuza, who was then seemingly killed by Haku, though not in actuality. Naruto is both impressed, intrigued, and jealous of this new technique Might Guy has displayed. However, this pushed his body too hard with the 8 gates, and Might Guy needs to rest. He requests his team train while he's resting, much to Naruto's chagrin. However, at this point, with all the training they have been doing, everyone on the team can already climb trees. So what they do then is pretty much just strength and stamina training. However, Naruto comes to Guy and asks him if he can teach him how to open the inner gates. Guy tells him that it's not an easy feat and not many ninja can open them all, but Naruto agrees. He knows this means he will be training even harder, but if it gets him closer to being Hokage, then so be it. Might Guy would laugh. Naruto, as an Uzumaki, naturally possesses an incredible amount of chakra. If he could somehow manage to unlock all 8 gates, then he might just be able to utilize this and his ninjutsu to achieve his dream. That being said, Guy attempts to help him accomplish this, taking it upon himself as a personal challenge to help the young Genin awaken his chakra gates. He and Naruto train non-stop, all while Guy explains how the process works. All the while he offers weights to Naruto to increase his strength as he does normal everyday things. Naruto works harder than ever before, having a real fire in his gut to utilize this. Not only will he be the strongest shinobi in a tactical and technical sense, he'll also be the strongest in a physical sense. So Naruto continues to train, but you know, he works himself so hard that he misses his deadline for guarding the bridge. But that's okay, Guy lets him sleep. Guy is just proud to see how driven Naruto is to grow stronger, even if it is merely to be accepted, which he shouldn't have to fight for. He lets Naruto rest, and he knows that one of the most important things about any great workout is the rest you take between them. While they're out though, Naruto would wake up to go with Guy and the rest of his team. His body feels like it was hit by a truck, and every movement feels like a threat to cramp, but he continues going. On his way, he would foil a plot to kidnap Inari and his mother. By the time he reaches the bridge though, he finds that Neji is already ensnared in the demonic mirroring ice crystals. Naruto is still a dope, and so he still jumps in there with him. Neji is at first surprised, and then not surprised. He merely replies with, "You're an idiot." He attempts to defend himself and Naruto from the Senbon using his Byakugan. They're coming in from every angle. However, Neji can practically see every angle. So he can defend himself, and when he can't, he uses the 8 trigrams rotation. But there are a few moments when he gets struck, and that is when a Senbon is launched from the direction of his blind spot. Tenten is still guarding Tazuna, however she is also thinking about how she can help Neji and Naruto. She would start flinging kunai with paper bombs attached at the mirrors, and she does manage to shatter them, but they're instantly replaced by more mirrors, all the while Neji is quickly running out of chakra. Haku, however, is still going strong. Unable to keep up with it, Naruto and Neji take quite a few shots. This would be where Neji takes the shots meant for Naruto and pays the price for it. Naruto thinks he's dead and completely loses control. This is where the Nine Tails energy shoots out. The mere pressure of this chakra shatters the mirrors, and Naruto knocks Haku back, only regaining control when the mask is shattered. From here, everything in the battle goes the same. However, instead of a Chidori, it's a fist using one of the 8 gates. Later, they're returning home. Neji's okay, but needed to be hospitalized, as did all of them except Tenten. Naruto would ask what happened. He would ask Guy if he'd awakened one of the inner gates, and Guy would say that the power was comparable, but wasn't any of the gates. He wouldn't say much until they got back to the village. Naruto would continue to train and work odd job missions for other villages. Then comes the Chunin exams. I would assume that Might Guy would inform them like Kakashi, only he would do it in a funnier way because, well, he's Might Guy. The first exam is the written test, and it doesn't change because their reactions would be exactly the same as in the main series, as this test is heavily dependent on the individual. However, the second test is more of a teamwork test. Together with his team, Naruto would spend the first few days gathering supplies. Naruto complains because it's taking so long. Tenten informs him that it's best to follow Neji's orders, but Naruto asks why he needs to follow Neji's orders when he's just a genin like the rest of them. Neji replies that it's because Naruto's stupid. Naruto gets comically angry at this, but Neji doesn't drop his greater-than-thou mentality. Naruto declares that he's going to find a team with a scroll that they need. Neji says that they were doing that anyway, and Naruto said that maybe this means that Naruto is smarter than Neji because he beat him to the point. Naruto would disappear into the bushes, and a moment later he would stick his head back out and say, "Wait, which scroll are we looking for again?" Naruto would continue to search for teams when he would see Sakura sitting and watching over an immobilized Sasuke and Lee. He would almost pop over to say hi, but would notice her being attacked by Team Dosu. Naruto would appear and attempt to fight them off using his initial Nine Tails chakra cloak, but even he and Sakura together are outclassed. However, Neji and Tenten would show up to aid him, and together they would drive off Team Dosu and leave Sakura alone. Team Guy would manage to get the scroll they need and make their way to the center of the forest to pass the test. Then comes the exhibitions. Naruto would face off against Gaara, but would be defeated. Tenten would also lose to Temari. Neji would face off against Hinata, who he utterly brutalizes. Then comes the month off. Neji would be training elsewhere, and Naruto would be upset that he was so easily defeated by Gaara, and Might Guy would tell him that he shouldn't let those losses shake him. He should instead choose to grow stronger and surpass what he had once been, so that when a rematch came, he'd be ready. He tells Naruto that this won't be the last chance he gets to become a Chunin. Naruto agrees, and the two train together for the next month, picking up where they left off. Guy would be astonished at the level of growth Naruto is capable of when he puts his mind to it. During this month, Naruto would also meet Jiraiya, who he'd find peeping on women. The two would actually hit it off a little, and that would be about the same as he'd expected. He would also train with Jiraiya for a while, attempting to grow stronger with his tailed beast. It would be here that he'd managed to meet Kurama for the first time in his subconscious. From his training, he learns to master Kurama's version 1 cloak. That, on top of his training with Guy, Naruto becomes incredibly formidable. The month ends and Sasuke would face off against Gaara and would do really well. However, the match is interrupted by Kabuto, who puts the whole stadium to sleep, while Orochimaru raids Konoha. Naruto and his team would be put to sleep, however he's quickly awakened and told that Sasuke, Lee, and Sakura went after Gaara, but that they need help. Naruto would rush out there looking forward to his rematch with Gaara. He would get out there right as Team 7 is defeated and would stop Gaara from killing them. Naruto would show off the fruits of his training. He'd activate his version 1 cloak and then stack it with his third gate of life. He uses this raw power to utterly defeat Gaara, and from the overexertion, he would pass out. Naruto would later end up in the hospital. However, when he wakes up, Guy commends him on his victory, but warns him not to be too reckless with his 8 gates. He tells him that stacking version 1 with the 8 gates like that, if he's not strong enough, will destroy his body. Naruto tells him that he's lucky that he had increased regeneration due to the Nine Tails. Naruto agrees. Later, Naruto was called up with Jiraiya to find Tsunade to replace Hiruzen as the Hokage, and this arc practically goes exactly the same as before. Returning to Konoha later, not much time passes until word that Sasuke has left the village spreads. Naruto, along with Lee, Sakura, and many others, are sent after them. For the sake of my love for Rock Lee, I'm going to assume that he is just as strong here as his main timeline counterpart. Is it logical to assume this, even though he doesn't know Might Guy as well? Probably not, but I don't care. I'm giving Lee his in-series strength because I love the character. Deal with it. Along the way, they would fight against the Sound 4 as Sasuke flees to the Valley of the End. Naruto, however, is caught up in a fight with Kimimaro. This fight goes differently, especially given that Naruto doesn't know the Drunken Fist. However, Naruto does have enough power to break through his defenses. Meanwhile, Rock Lee and Sasuke fight as he tries to drag Sasuke back. However, with his Curse Mark level 2, Sasuke would still beat him and escape the village. They would return shortly thereafter. This is normally where there's a 3.5-year time skip, and there still will be, but instead of chasing more of his tailed beast control with Jiraiya, Naruto would opt to continue training with Guy and further increase his access to the 8 gates. After the 2.5-year time skip, Naruto would have already further increased his power, and Sakura would have been training with Tsunade. By this point, Naruto would have made Chunin and got that awesome flak jacket. Word reaches them that the Kazekage has been kidnapped and Team Kakashi is sent to retrieve him. However, Tsunade worries that they won't be enough and sends Team Guy to aid them. Most of this goes the same, actually. Naruto and the rest of Team Guy managed to defeat the Deidara clone, but nearly die if it hadn't been for Kakashi. Team Guy would not partake in the Tenchi Bridge recon mission, and so that mostly stays the same. However, they do partake in the Akatsuki suppression mission. Naruto is training while Asuma's team faces off against Hidan and Kakuzu. Asuma dies and Team Guy attends his funeral. Naruto is sent out to help fight the Akatsuki. Naruto would face off against Kakuzu with Team 7 and uses his 8 gates techniques alongside his version 1 cloak to utterly destroy Kakuzu. Due to his training and further control of the Nine Tails, he has managed to increase his strength as well as his regeneration, which allows him to lower the cost of the 8 gates. This sorta makes Naruto a little broken. If we assume that he can open at least 5 of the 7 inner gates, then Naruto's power is like Nine Tails chakra mode level. In this way, Naruto doesn't really need much more training because he's just that strong. Time would pass. The Itachi pursuit arc would occur, but Naruto would not partake. However, when the pain arc occurs, Naruto is ready. Alongside Team Guy, he faces off against the 6 paths of pain, but Naruto sorta fodderizes them. Pain would die at this point too, alongside Konan. Konoha would take his body as well as his Rinnegan and would hide them. Then comes the 5 Kage Summit arc. Tsunade would not have been in a coma, so she'd be here to represent Konoha. Tobi would appear under the name Madara and would demand the Nine Tails, but Tsunade would deny him and the 4th Shinobi World War is declared. Naruto would be sent away to train. This technically goes mostly the same, and he manages to take Kurama's energy to access his nine-tailed chakra mode. But through this, he senses the 4th Shinobi World War taking place. Naruto convinces Team Guy to allow him to go to the war to fight. They would follow him there. Tsunade would attempt to send him back, but given how powerful Naruto has become, he convinces her to allow him to go and fight. He would help Sakura dispose of these Zetsu imposters. Once all of these sus Zetsu are disposed of, he would eventually make his way to the place of the final battle. From this point, most of it stays the same, except Naruto is superpowered. In his Kurama Chakra mode, he's about as strong as he would be in his 6 Paths Chakra mode. And once he activates this 6 Paths Chakra mode, he would just utterly destroy everyone. Obito has no shot, Madara has no shot, Kaguya might have a shot, but she gets sealed away faster than you can say Chibaku Tensei. And when we get to the attack on the Hyuga by Toneri and the attempt to destroy the Earth, my soul, Naruto opens such a potent can of whoop-ass on Toneri that even Grandpappy Hamada could feel it. So yes, Naruto definitely becomes Hokage. How about when Momoshiki shows up? Surely our homie Momo has a shot, right? Nope. He gets smeared. But what about Ishiki? It took Baryon mode to deal with that, and even then he only lost from timing out. Surely Ishiki would be able to stand up against this. No way, Jose. Not only does Naruto snuff Ishiki, but guess what? He keeps Kurama too because he didn't need to waste his chakra with a flashy one-time form. So you think code would be an issue? No, he wouldn't. Dude gets curb stomped the moment he sets foot in Konoha. Boruto wouldn't even get a Karma Seal, Kurama wouldn't die, every villain to face Naruto would not be ready for 8 Gate 6 Path Sage mode. It's as if Naruto has perpetual access to Baryon mode without the limitations. Hell, he could probably even beat Ultra Instinct Goku. Well, let's not go overboard here. Maybe Final Form Namek Saga Frieza. Maybe. But anyway, that's what I was thinking. Just imagine if Naruto had learned the 8 gates. If he had, Naruto would be in such a realm of power that it wouldn't even be funny. If he had learned the 8 gates, the series could still be called Naruto, Naruto Next Generations. Out of the way, Jogan boy. The king's gonna show you what true power is. But tell me, what do you think would have happened if Naruto had been on Might Guy's team? Looking at the 8 gates, I almost feel upset that Naruto didn't learn them. They were pretty awesome. Watching Naruto stack the 8 gates with 6 Path Sage mode would have been so hype. Almost as hype as Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. So leave a comment below to let us know what you think, and if you liked the video, click thumbs up to tell us so. If you enjoyed the video and haven't subscribed, feel free to do so as well. Helps the channel out a lot. And don't forget to ring the bell, we drop a new video every day and I'm sure you'll want to see that. Hope you enjoyed the video. Peace.